We are... Well, let me see. Yeah. We are live a little bit early just to check out all our audio stuff and everyone. Hi, everybody. Hello, Ray, Demins, good to see you, glad to have you. Sarah, good to see you, glad to have you. Elias, good to see you, glad to have you. Tethys, good to see you, glad to have you. Just like the Cat Empire says, hello, hello. Indeed. Lolly Ho, Jellybean, Koshek, good to see you, glad to have you. And also... Oh, come here, good boy. Ready? I got the good boy. I got the good boy back from the hospital. Still got a little, bandage on his paw. Good job, bud. He's a very good pupper. Okay, how's my audio? How's everything sounding? We're gonna do some quick checks since I had to, I took my entire computer with me, so, have to check all the setup and everything's good. Deadpool, yes! Deadpool's a very good boy. Are you a good boy? Yeah. You very good boy? Not so good when you eat large pieces of bone whole and they create butterfly valves inside of your digestive tract, right? That's not that's less good. Yeah, high five. Thank you. Here, do you want me to remove let's remove your bandage for you. Come on, I'm just removing this for you. There you go. Much better. Much better. Everything sounds good? Good, good. Sound great, but Deadpool... Put Deadpool back on? Okay. Come here. Buddy. Come on. Over here. Oh. Everybody wants to see you. His little paws got shaved so they could put the, You okay, bud? Still a little tired? Alright. You wanna go down? Yeah. So glad the best boy's doing good. Give him extra loves and pets for us. I absolutely will. He's, he recovers really, 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 really fast. Mostly now he's just, it's a little quiet. Here, let me... He's mostly now just hungry, but he can't eat constantly. He can't eat as much because his digestive tract is still recovering. Okay. Well then, Jubilant, good to see you, glad to have you. Did I miss anyone? No. Well, let's go ahead, since we're starting an hour late, get going, and we're gonna get through Alberic. Plan will probably be to get through Idleshire. Depending on time, we may go up to the Great Gooble. We may just go to the leaving of Idleshire. We will see. But we are approaching the end of Heavensward, honestly. We're in the last, home stretch here. Right after this, we go into Isis Law, and that's not very long. So there's a good chance that we may want to end early, so that way we have time to make sure that we do all of Dragoon quests. Seeing as we're actually, I think, what, 2 or 3 to go? Yeah, at least 2. Okay. Shall we then? You come at a good time, my friend. I have tidings to share regarding the heretics we pursue. They call themselves the Bloodbearers, and their leader is a man named Methonian. He and his minions are all capable of assuming the form of dragons. That's interesting, assuming the form of dragons, which means that they have the ability to transform back. Unless he just means, well, unless he means anyone who did assumed it permanently. Such transformation is possibly by partaking of dragon blood. I dare say you have borne witness to it, and it grants the individual unholy strength. Because every example we know of, it's a permanent thing. The sanguinous substance is precious. The Bloodbearers have access to an abundant supply owing to the pact with Garuli. This is why they have been able to offer our forces such fierce resistance. Now my sources tell me that the Bloodbearers have been sighted in the Chocobo Forest. If Hydaelyn means to reclaim Peregrine, as I believe that is where she will go, and so must we. Pray, meet me at Tailfeather. We shall begin by making inquiries around the settlement. Brian, good to see you, glad to have you. We're going to go back to Gabby. We're headed back to Gabby. Oh my god, I'm so excited to do Gabby voice that much. I cannot tell you how much I am. Artemis, good to see you, glad to have you. I was watching the Machinist Job quest and totally forgot the stream was happening. Being an hour late ended up working out for me. Well, there you go. Everything to a place and time. And again, we're always glad to have people join in, even if it's late. Or even if you're watching the VOD. Oh ho ho, it's Gabby Go Boom time. It's Gabby Go everything time, ain't that for sure. Also, How's everyone else doing? I have had a hectic couple of days. I was out of town, and then Deadpool had his illness, and so I've been dealing with that. But, I was hoping to get more work done, sadly, but, things got in the way. I took the liberty of speaking with some of the locals before you arrived. They say the strange merchants have been acquiring goods in prodigious quantities. It seems to me that the Bloodbearers are replenishing their stores. Let us split up and scour the area for these so-called merchants. Should someone strike you as suspicious, confront him and gauge his reaction. If you have never, let's actually take a second to look at that. Thal's balls, man, stop wasting. Somebody bring this boy another. Oh my god, they go way too fast. Come back now. Speak your words. There we go. Haha! Somebody bring this boy another round. His first be running some britches. Thal's balls, man. Stop wasting a good brew on a whelp. That'll just like to disgorge him or gutter-wise. I assume that they were feeding alcohol to this kid who is now throwing up. Oh, hello, Alberic. Yes, we're doing the 58 Dragoon quest real quick. If you've never seen a sleeping chocobo, this is how chocobo sleeps. It's very cute. Yeah. Look at a good boy. Deathberry! Thanks for the Archon status! I hope you enjoy your emotes! I will die for the sleepy chocobo. Won't we all? It's very, very good. Very, very good, boys. This guy doesn't look shady at all. What you talking about? Oh, so the Seas dogs. You ain't taking me alive! I was just coming to ask you where the restroom was. Yeah. You guys, your timing. Dreaming of quaying unreservedly on all the Geisel greens it can eat. That or just dreaming of being a red chocobo and metering the crap out of us. It wants to bring about the final quay. Oh, that's a bad joke. Deathberry, hello, I hope everyone is having a great day. I'm having a good day. I'm tired. I got home about 30 minutes ago, about 40 minutes ago, so I was rushing to make sure everything was in place. The one suspicious fellow I approached was an honest chocobo breeder. How fared your search? Attacked by a false merchant, and you say you found the sliver of parchment upon the man. Bears a message ciphered in a manner favored by the heretics. Thankfully, I am versed in it. This is to be a meeting short way south of here. Let us go there at once. It was bad, but I couldn't not. It came to me on my mind that had to be released upon the world. My timing is impeccable and I shan't be stopped. Double goodness. What will be interesting is trying to do the different gobbies with at least some slight different personality. Thank the Fury we're not too late. Elio, why are you here? Why is Sir Albrecht here? Rest assured, your secret is safe with us. Your father is the only other soul that knows. Elio cannot bear to see him suffer so. What ails you? I am fine, it will pass. Now I suspect it was a Mathonian that led you here. As you can see, he and his bloodbearers shall trouble the Holy See no more. Even in a self-imposed exile, you think of duty. But now that you have reclaimed Peregrine, there is no further need for deception. Come with us back to Ishgard. Your family and your comrades have need of you. I am sorry, but I cannot. I cannot return to Ishgard ever again. Why? What has happened to you? The Eorzean I know would never forsake her people. She would never turn her back on her nation. Please understand I wish with all my heart to return home, but I have no choice. I have partaken of dragon blood. When the heretics held me captive, they forced the vile substance down my throat. Alone have mercy. Then you... I have already turned. Were I to set foot in Ishgard, I would be charged with heresy of the worst order. If I alone must suffer, then so be it. But you know as well as I how the Inquisition works. Should I be declared a heretic, suspicion is like to fall upon my parents as well. I will not allow that to happen. Full well do I understand your plight, but what do you intend to do? You cannot mean to throw away your life. Perish the thought. I owe my life to my father. If I must die, it shall not be in vain. As Elio has shown us, a dragon needs no banners to do what is right, and I know full well what I must do. Upon my lance I swear to hunt down Gruli and end his reign of terror. Thank you, Elio, for showing me the path I must walk, for helping me to accept my fate. I asked this of you once before, but I shall ask it again. Please take care of my comrades and my father. No matter how I searched, I could find no words to stop her. For now, let us return to the observatorium. I think Eorzean's disappointed at my gay bulge.
Do super chat, make Elio say weird shit in a silly voice. Now that is only going to be rare this episode. It's true. This manner of speaking will only happen once or twice for the entirety of the episode. But at the same time, you could help make things more affordable for everyone here at the Eorzean Archives.
Oh, speaking of, between some of the birthday money I got, I should be able to afford a PS5 now. So I'm gonna, change the funding goal. So I was thinking there's no longer any like hardware we particularly need for the archives. What I was thinking instead was we could start raising funds for more fun things to do. Obviously, I'm still in the midst of trying to get the person I commissioned the Eorzean cosplay to get it to me, but the things like, I know a lot of people were having fun with the idea of a drunken stream between me and Naniri. So if people have interested in like us doing something, let me know. As I made my way back, I recalled words Hydaelyn once said to me. My worth is measured by the dragons I slay. To be charged into the very thing she has sworn to fight, I can only imagine the storm of turmoil that must rage within her. Yet cruel though her fate is, we must make the best of the hand we have been dealt, and I believe I spy an opportunity. In partaking of dragon blood, Hydaelyn has come to harbor the power of dragons. If she can but master this power, she may well have a fighting chance against Gruli. It is not so different from the harnessing the power of the eye, I believe. Alas, the danger of corruption is far greater. As you yourself have witnessed, dragon blood alters the flesh, and once the flesh is altered, the mind must soon follow. Will Hydaelyn be able to conquer the dragon that is roused within her? I know not, but we must believe in her and lend her our strength, else she will surely be lost to us. Pray, resume your training once more, Elio, and keep your purpose ever close to your heart. For when next we meet, it will be to confront the dragon, Gruli. Loading symbol. Is that gay bulg in your pocket, or are you just happy to see us? Indeed. Onward to Sharlayan, my friends! Oh, someone sent me a letter. I wonder what it was. Oh, actually, I'm right. Am I not right near Postal Moogle? That's an itinerant Moogle. Where is the nearest Postal Moogle? I guess the nearest Postal Moogle is in Old Gridania? Yeah. Well, we'll pass by it later, I'm sure. I traded my gay bulg for Broniac. Yeah, I would get that right now if I could. Sadly, tied to the Heavensward relic and all that jazz. I do find it ironic that you can't get your... I mean, technically, through hunts, you could get your Diablo armor early, but you technically can't get your armor before you start the game. The expansion. Until after you beat the expansion. That changes with, what, Shadowbringers is the first time that they make it so it's actually part of the story somewhat, and then Endwalker does too. In my youth, I had the honor of studying under Matoya in the field of etheric research. She was without rival. I have no doubt that her knowledge will be of aid to our cause. The question is, will she share it with us? My master has ever been willful. The gods forbid anyone disagree with her. When the Garlean Empire first marched upon Eorzean some 15 years ago, the denizens of Sharlayan were summoned back to the motherland. However, Matoya refused to join the exodus. To this day, she lives as a hermit's life on the fringes of the abandoned city. So it is the Dravanian hinterlands that we must go to the place of my birth. Though Alice and I were born in Sharlayan, our days there were short. We remained only until the exodus and have not returned since. Oh, so it is to be a homecoming then, as a fine reason as any to go to Sharlayan, and it would afford us the opportunity to pay my master a visit. I believe you've mistaken our primary objective, Y'shtola. At any rate, the journey will take us through largely unknown territory. Let us first return to Ishgard and make our preparations.
You can get Brionic with hunts, yeah, as soon as, yeah. Technically before, but you need to go to Edelshire to get elite hunts, yeah. Yeah, with hunts you'd be able to do stuff, but, I will never trade in my gay ball. Divorce is too expensive. You're very bravura to not trade in your gay bulk.
Sharlayan is situated in the Dravanian hinterlands.
I wish they would call it New Sharlayan. It throws me off.
To get there, we must strike west and traverse the breadth of the Dravanian forelands. Make no mistake, it will be a grueling journey. The party shall be comprised of Elio, Y'shtola, and myself. Tataru, pray, remain in Ishgard and continue to search for our missing friends.
Yes, sir.
First, let us make out for Tailfeather.
I get we had to drop off Tataru, but also, like, can we just said split up and meet at, like, Tailfeather and, like... Got the sticker in the mail today. Oh, nice! From Patreon? Awesome. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, if you're subscribed to Patreon, I believe it's 3 months or at a certain tier. It lets you know specifically. You will get a Eorzean Archive sticker. You can also buy those on our store, though. I actually have a bunch around here somewhere. Somewhere around here.
A long soak in the live stream, followed by a long journey. Would not recommend it to anyone. Rest assured, my strength is returning to me. I shall be back to my former self ere long. I believe I am sufficiently rested. Let us continue west to Sharlayan. Once we descend into the mountain path, we will arrive at the Dravanian hinterlands. From there, it is but a short distance to the city. Be warned that we shall be passing through the Nath territory. We must needs be wary of them, and dragons both.
Glad I missed my phone when I spilled the soap I was working with everywhere. Woo! It would have been terrible to happen during stream. Oh no, I hope everything else is okay, though. So we should be going to, yeah, all the way across the other side. Actually, I did unlock flying, so now we can do that. Ah, yes, I step into Limsa for a moment and half a dozen people look at me. I mean, it's Limsa. Not to victim blame, but what do you expect? Do you know, Tethys or Ray Ray or anyone, does, when you first see Edelshire, it's been a while since I've first seen it for the first time, does it show it from the 3.0 version, or does it already, even when you first get there now, show the, like, 3.5 version? Because one thing I'm frustrated by is the Mordona and the, Edelshire, not being able to have seen them, not getting to experience them as they got reconstructed. I think that, like, what they did with the Domain Restoration Project is a much better way to approach stuff like that. Didn't know there was a difference. Yeah, oh yeah, there's a huge difference. Here, let me pull up a picture. Here, this is just a simple picture, but there's a whole video on it that you can check out. But, like, so the outside of it used to look like this, and then it gets repaired and built up, and then the actual city also
there used to be all sorts of locations and stuff in it that weren't, that there was rubble everywhere, and like this building I don't think was there. All sorts of stuff. Do I know the way to San Jose? Yes and yes. It shows the finished version the first time you go there now. Okay, well, boring. Yeah, I think it's a 3.5 version. Boring. I mean, that makes sense, but...
To the Thaliac River, where to the melted snows of Abelathia's spine eventually find their way by means of 1,000 silver streams. Whose waters have long nourished the Dravanian hinterlands, and so provided for a settlement of learned souls from across the northern seas. To the city of Sharlayan, that great seat of knowledge now abandoned by
nope,
her
it's 3.5. You're right. I mean, how else would they split up the pace, really? Unless they... I mean, I feel like the smarter way to do it would do patch cycles, right? So, like, when you get to the MSQ with 3.1, it'll show the 3.1. When you get to the MSQ with, like, 3.3, it'll show 3.3 restoration. I think that would be a better way to deal with it. Matoya dwells on the far side of the Thaliac River. Let us search for a crossing. Guys, they're a-coming. I want people ready with gobby booms. That's some pretty vistas. Gotta love the clouds. Actually, give me 1 second, everyone. Don't mind me. Just everything's fine. Don't mind me. Go. Gobbies and Matoya, the hinterlands have it all. Angry old people and a bunch of goblins. By the way, I think Morby Drydock is an instance now. When you go in, there are at low levels there, nobody AFKs around his NPC. Ooh, that's interesting. I wonder if that was a part of some of the maintenance, or I wonder if they're doing some of that in 6.1 patch as well. Alas, I'm bereft of gobby booms for the moment. No! Demins, how do I grant people gobby booms? Oh no, I can't. I'd give you my money, but I don't have any other than the money you give me. And that goes into account that yeah. I will gobby boom for you, Demins. Oh, speaking of, this is the symbol of the Illuminati. In Japanese, they're called the Blue Hand. So, that's why that's their symbol. I don't know, is the Blue Hand a reference to, like, a extremist or religious group in Japan as well, the same way that Illuminati is a reference to, you know, the idea of the Illuminati conspiracy and all that in the real world? I'm wondering if that's the case, because I'm wondering if it was just a joke name chosen during 1.0 or 2.0. Oh, hey, is that like that's in the style of the older Aetherites from, like, 1.0. I'm wondering if it's, just that Koji made a joke during 1.0 or 2.0, didn't think about it too much, and then it became a thing where they had to maintain it. Or I'm wondering if it was like, okay, the idea of why the Blue Hand doesn't carry over, like the analogy to it doesn't carry over into English, so they chose something else. Blue mitt, more like, it's like a blue oven mitt. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, we always see them wearing those mitts. Oh, yes. Yes. Let's get a good look at... well, technically, nothing's up yet. I'm sure I can scrounge up $1 somewhere. Wait, I have $3 sitting on my desk. There you go. There you go. Ah, yes, the blue backhand, since that's all someone gets for smack talking the best raid boss of all time, Alexander. Best raid boss, Alexander. Honestly, as someone who just is just going through Savage Alexander Synced, fuck the Alexander raids. So this is, I think, an important thing that I don't think a lot of people understand actually about Alexander. Alexander's not beneath the water right now. This is basically a weapons depot for Sharlayan that is sunk beneath the water. This is just a normal ass structure right now. And Alexander as a concept is summoned into this thing. Like, this thing is turned into Alexander, effectively. It is not Alexander itself currently. Slander. Everyone's allowed their own opinion. Which is my favorite raid series? It's a question, like, narratively, I think Omega's my favorite. Probably. Combat-wise, maybe Eden. Stop stalling, get to the booms. I'm working on it. It's important distinction. It's a lore thing I was researching recently, and I thought that, look, if I wasn't fully aware of that distinction, it's a, you know, case in point. Googling the blue hand Japan leads to Aomi Shinryukyo. Okay, well that would explain a lot. Trying to find out what that is and call it. Okay. Oh, you don't know about? Okay, yes. If there's any kind of reference to Shinrikyo, that explains a lot. And that would explain why it would not localize into English. Okay, Omega is a fun series. I've seen Alexander's emerging cutscene recently. Yeah, in it you get to like see the building itself turn into Alexander, so. After spending years defending FF8, the Eden raids had me so excited when they came out. Yeah. I was hoping this Gabi would talk. Oh, I forgot to make a button because I was out of town, but I'll make one. Beckwith, keeper of knowledge and data. But Beckwith had nothing to teach Uplander this time. This is watching Guard Post. It is an important place. We watch Guard for nasty monsters and evil Illuminati. Oh, this is gonna be fun. I think 8 is deeply flawed in a lot of ways. I think 8 is phenomenal, and I really hope it gets a remake really badly. The bridge ahead has collapsed. I'm afraid we shan't be crossing there. But worry not, I know another way. See the towering structure to the north? We should be able to cross there. But 15 years abandoned, and already Sharlayan has fallen into such disarray. Verily, a city is no more than its inhabitants. Let's fucking go! Sorry, I should. Let's fucking go! Gobble booms! Thank you, demands, for your archon status, so that way you can gobble boom. You must gobble boom with the rest of us. After spending years, yeah. Oh no, we already got to that. Bray wrote the gobby booms. But yeah, Brian, I understand why some people don't love 8 as much. I think 8's rough, has a lot of rough edges, but I think the heart of 8 is really, really good, and I'm looking forward to replaying it, and I'm looking forward to really meditating on what it would need to be in a place where I think it was a lot more able to be appreciated. And I think one thing most of all would just be making a lot of its systems modernized, because I think a lot of its systems were interesting ideas, maybe not the best execution. Copy booms! It was my first Final Fantasy, and I had no idea what was going on, but I thought the Gunblade was cool. To be fair, for most people I know, that is their experience of most of their first Final Fantasies. I mean, not specifically the Gunblade, but... I can't believe they fucking used bagpipes. Knowledge knoweth no man. Knowledge knows no man. Sorry, not knoweth. That's what it says up there. Knowledge... Oh, sorry. Knowledge seeks no man. It's been so long since I've actually read that. Seeks no man. To say the motto of Sharlayan engraved upon yonder stone, the meaning is simple. It falls to us to seek enlightenment. During the 6th Astral Era, at the turn of the 13th century, men from the northern nation of Sharlayan journeyed across the seas to Eorzean in search of knowledge. Upon arriving at these shores, they established a camp from their scholarly endeavors. Over time, this camp grew into a settlement, and the settlements prospered, and so much so that it came to be counted amongst Eorzea's great city-states. Alas, those glory days are now but a fading memory. With her keepers lost to her, Sharlayan has become an empty husk of her former self.
Uplander is mistaken. Sharlayan has new upkeepers. It is on cusp of new age of glory. Gobbies!
goblins, here to plunder the city.
Uplanders is mistaken, muchly. We are not thieves. This place is our home.
Much Gabi agree. Your home. When last I looked, it was mine and Alfino's. We were born here.
When Uplanders abandoned city, Uplanders gave up claim. Born here or no, Uplanders are trespassers.
God, I fucking love goblins. You need to get like a little goblin plushie. My friends, please, we do not come to dispute your claim to the land. Our purpose here is just peaceful. We desire but to cross the river. Be calm, I beg you, and let us speak like civilized folk that we are. Surely we can come to a mutual understanding.
Huh. If that is truth, then Uplanders are welcome here. Come with Stillfox. Stillfox will show Uplanders settlement.
Jaren, good to see you, glad to have you. Cat in a box indeed. I was 8 years old when it came out. I just saw a cool sword and giant, neat looking monster. I was like, hell yeah. Demins, I feel like that's most people I know who their first Final Fantasy and their experience was like, pretty akin to that.
We'll need to stand guard, keeping Eorzean safe for Goblin.
Did they ever have goblins with voice lines in the game at any point? I do not believe so. I can't recall goblins with voice lines, no. X was my first Final Fantasy. I don't know if it's technically my first, but it was my first mainline one. That I played, like, the entirety of and played it from start to finish. Because I think 4 might have technically been my first one.
Here is Heart of Settlement, man of Eorzean.
For those of you who aren't aware, that skull sound is them breathing into their mask. What have we got here, guests? Greetings to you. I am Alfino Levier, and may I introduce my companions, Alio Forcherant and Yistola. We have journeyed far in search of a friend, and seek to cross the river. Be finding the main bridge collapsed. You went looking for a detour and ended up stumbling into Slowfix and his crew, is that right? That is the short of it, aye. The place is Eorzean. I came expecting a ghost town. Suffice it to say, I'm surprised to find it so alive. Well, what with them precious artifacts lying about, it was only a matter of time before the treasure hunters like me moved in. But we weren't here first to arrive, neither. By then, Slowfix and his Gobby friends were already settled.
Ah, first Gobbies, hunters dislike each other, but understanding came, then friendship. The Gobby hunters have joined hands to build a great new nation.
So this is what happened after we Charlians departed. Aye, so you're locals. No hard feelings, I hope. All these nice buildings, but no one's a living them. Felt like a waste, you know. We've been trying to put the places to rights. Things been going well for the most part, but ain't all smooth sailing. Not to sound ungrateful, but the traps you people left lying about are bloody nuisance. And there's the Illuminati harrying us day and night.
Slowfix has bright idea. Uplanders desire mutual understanding, yes? Best way to understanding is helping one another. Help citizens of Eorzean, and Uplanders can be citizens too. Citizens are free to cross river.
Well, I am not aware of the quicker way to reach our destination. Let us assist Slowfix and his people.
Huzzah!
I had to save specifically at Kilka, so I'd watch Sending over and over. Nope, I totally get that. Which doesn't say now that I type that, it really tells you what kind of kid I was. No, Artemis, I totally did stuff like that too. I totally understand that completely. And honestly, I would even understand having a save to just do the Sin fight to see Kilika, the destruction of Kilika, also because that's beautiful and tragic and harrowing. No, I totally get it.
So Uplanders agrees to help. Good. Here's what Slowfix wants Uplander to do. Many golems prowl Eorzean. Get in the way of explosion plans. Slowfix wants Uplanders to eliminate golems. Uplanders are Charlian, yes? Charlian should know what best way to deal with creatures.
So we are to eliminate the golems. This should be a simple enough affair.
The automata were employed at Sentinels, and by design can be unmade with a coded command. At the time of the Exodus, it was noughts and crosses, and I see no reason why it should not still work. Let's divide the task between the three of us, the quicker to be finished with it. Let's... There we go, that's preliminarily set up, so I can just...
Eorzean must be stopped. Hotfix is wrecking brain tests for ways to defeat them. Clever planks or tricksy plans? Uplanders pack up things and leave buildings empty. So is GOBLIN coming and becoming keepers of Hydaelyn. Now is this proud of GOBLIN. Hotfix will defend home. Will not let anyone take the Shire.
They talk to Cheap Chicks?
Uplanders has questions, yes? Cheap Chicks has answers. Scavenge, learn, build. The technology of Hydaelyn is ours for the taking. GOBLIN learns much and more every day from junks and terms. These brain cases with Uplanders' words and wisdom. But Illuminati wants words and wisdom all for themselves. Cheap Chicks cannot abide that. Cheap Chicks like having a big vocabulary. GOBLIN wanders for many years, in accordance with GOBLIN traditions. But then, by good fortune, GOBLIN comes to abandon the city of Hydaelyn. Much wisdom must be had in study of junk and reading of terms. The decision is made. GOBLIN must stay. Later come like-minded Uplanders to share in spoils. Together we build Italy Shire, community of hard-working, industrious individuals.
Why, thank you, Cheap Chicks. Gobby Dance is the best. I do love the Gobby Dance, like, yep. DD, good to see, glad to have you. You know, I can't look at spam the same way again after watching the music video for the opening to Goblin Slayer. I don't watch Goblin Slayer, so somewhat intentionally, so I could not speak to that. Oh, right, I thought they were out there. My first FF game was Tactics. Huh, that seems to have happened to a lot of people, interestingly, and I'm not sure why. If anyone has any speculation on that. A lot of the PS1 era I missed, passed me by, so. Oh, hey, Delivery Moogle. Let's see, is it a... Oh, Jalali gave me a... Oh, I wish Jalali was here to see it. Pixie Berry and a Namashi. Oh, thank you, Jalali. Here, Mame Shiva. Let's put that on for a little bit. And let's drink some Pixie Berry. X was my first. Yeah, X is my favorite still. And it's my first, like, when I really think of, like, my first Final Fantasy, it's really X is the first one that comes to mind. Ray beats me if I don't say like, join, so share, and subscribe regularly. It's true. You don't want Ray to beat Tethys, or maybe you do, in which case you could pay for that. I don't know what Tethys is into. I also had to save right before the Sin fight, both to listen to the Fleeting Dream and also watch the Sin cutscene. Dude, a Fleeting Dream, or, so one thing about Final Fantasy X soundtrack that's interesting is, and I don't know why this happened, I think what happened was just localization. Was localized one way, then they changed it. A lot of the songs you'll see under two names, so like, Fleeting Dream I knew as Someday the Dream Will End, which I actually kind of like better. There's some versions of the name song I like better one way, some another, but yeah, Someday the Dream Will End and how that song is used throughout the game is just phenomenal. Wherever you have a problem, send whole pics. It's true. You know why I think goblins are so good at engineering? Because of these. Their thumbs? My parents were super into Tactics, so it was the first FF game I played watched as a kid. That would make sense, yeah. Tactics was first released on PS1, that's why I bought a PS1. So Tethys, but Tactics wasn't your first Final Fantasy, right? What was it that drew you to Tactics immediately to the point where you're buying a console for it? Elio, did I have a good birthday? I did! It was relatively quiet. I just got to see my mother for a little bit, and then I got to see my father for a little bit. And it was good. It was good. And honestly, and I mean this in all sincerity, it was a lot better for having you guys and your well wishes, and I really, really appreciate those. That made me feel much less, much more connected, and I appreciated them. So thank you for helping me have a really good birthday.
Golems are no more. Wonderful. Now we can resume work to expand settlement. Uplanders help Gobbliflock, earned right to be citizens of Eorzean. But Slowfolks must ask another favor.
Another favor, you say?
A short time ago, dear friend of Slowfolks ventured into Illuminati territory. Illuminati are nasty gobbies. Show no mercy even towards gobby-kin. Slowfolks fears for friend's life. Please find friend before Illuminati do.
I'm suddenly taken by a sense of foreboding. Be that as it may, we cannot turn a blind eye. Let us make haste and find Slowfix's friend.
Okay, so who's in favor of a stream where we just do all the quests in Eorzean so I can just do Gobby voice all day? They have mythical appendages known as oppostomes. Oh, same. Yeah, my first FF was 5 because the longest time GBA was the only console I had. Interesting, Elias. GBA was one of the only consoles I had for a while, but I only got to play 1 and 2 on it. And I never had 5 for it. Actually, 5 is, I think, the Final Fantasy I've probably played the least. It'd be 1, 2, 3, or 5. So I'm really excited to play more of it. Yeah, I love Someday the Dream Will Die. Yeah, Someday the Dream Will Die. I've never heard that one. I've only seen Someday the Dream Will End. But yeah, I love the way that Uematsu's soundtrack in 10 is used. Like the way that A Fleeting Dream or Someday the Dream Will End is used, or Wandering Flame, the Farplane theme, and how that's used at different points for Titus and his story is just heart-wrenching and perfection. It was my first tactical type game, and I was youngish, impressionable gay lad, and Delidia and Ramsey just oozed gay tension. Okay, that makes sense. To use tools, most races need opposable thumbs, don't they? Yes, broadly. No, thank you for being here in this community. Thank you for thanking me for thanking you. No, but I will say that, I think most of my birthdays for the past decade have been a relatively quiet affair, and not necessarily by choice, but just because I'm not usually good at like planning things or trying to like draw people's attention to to time for me. So I can tell you that having you guys to engage with and having things like Ray Ray's very, very, very kind appreciation thread was incredibly, incredibly lovely. Thank you. Is that even a question? Me, I'm in favor. Yep, for Gobby Run, you know I'm all for it. Yeah, I'll Gobby stream. Okay, so maybe we'll have to either do that tomorrow or we'll see. Maybe we'll either do that as a separate stream on Elio and just do a bunch of quests. I thought that was so cool that you deserves the love, Zoe. Thank you, D. Much appreciated. But yeah. I don't know if any of you guys, I think quite a few of you are watching our Final Fantasy replay stream with me and Naniri doing FF1 right now, but I kept having to tell people about Naniri's drunk stories over the weekend because they just had me dying so much. Why not the blue thumb? In Japanese, Illuminati is called the blue hand. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier, AC. Wonder why localization shows Illuminati over blue hand. Well, if I'm not mistaken, we got a little bit that where now I'm already forgetting the cult's name. But it's because I think the blue hand is alluding to one of the Japanese cults, and that wouldn't make that like allusion wouldn't make sense in English. And if you think about like alluding to a cult or an organization or conspiracy or stuff like that, naming the Illuminati makes a lot of sense.
Good here, Uplander. Long time no eye catch. What is bringing Uplander here? Does Uplander have lusty eyes for junk of Bravelocks? Uplander must not be touching junk of Bravelocks. Bravelocks is finding junk first.
Look, Bravelocks, I can't lie. My stream may have a thing for junk, but they're not lusty for junk of Bravelocks.
I knew I recognized that voice. Greeting, Bravelocks. It's been a while. Forgive us for interrupting your work, but Captain Whiskat gave me to understand that you are marked by the Illuminati. This happens to be Illuminati-held territory. Is it wise to be here?
Pshaw! Give Bravelocks eat Illuminati for synapses. Pshh, who eats who for synapses? Where? Bravelocks all talks, unwise you are to come at dirty talking secrets, knowing of cheese make for Illuminati. Bravelocks didn't know I'm right. Cheese recipe is Gabby birthright. Save tongue flaps for trading the death pit. Pray to Godfather, for punishment is near times!
It appears we have no choice.
Got synopses, gotta love Gabi syntax. Me too. That's one of the ones that definitely gets me for sure.
Score. Brayflox, sorry to Illuminati, get a trick or two. To deathbed with you.
Whatever this is about, Brayflox, we need our help.
Have you killed Chaos yet? Well, we haven't gotten to Omega yet.
Tremble before the might of Illuminati.
Whence came all these bombs?
Spell bladder, not over unstrung fibers of Illuminati. More lunch fists. Oh fuck.
Get more of them, at this rate. Now seems as good a time as any. I shall invoke a spell. Pray, keep the enemy at bay. Unyielding earth. Nourishing water. Ride ye the wind, and become as light.
Aoife, to me.
Why is that specifically only boys? Okay, sure, why not? Go for it.
Essence of life, smite mine enemies. It is done. Amazing. How did you learn such a potent spell?
Huzzah! Uplanders as Brayflox's Iron Fist.
Oh, this is gonna be an interesting discussion.
Illuminati, no match for ferocious Gabi fists of Brayflox. More junk is awaiting Brayflox, muchly. Brayflox is taking leave of Uplanders.
God, I love goblins. I'm glad you enjoyed Artemis.
Being embroiled in a cheese war was the last thing I expected coming to Charlian. At any rate, we have fulfilled Slowflix's request. Let us return with the good tidings and be on our way.
Oh, dude, doing Alexander as a group is gonna be fun too. That thing reminded me of those awful head chariots in Caelid in Elden Ring. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yep. The gob tank and the green things that look almost like, yeah, with the flames, yeah.
I fell in love with 5 because it was different from what I had played before, but I came to see it as a variation of gameplay formula on Pokemon, which I love playing Pokemon.
That's interesting. Did you see it as variation of gameplay of Pokemon because it, I mean, meaningfully they're kind of distant from each other, but was that for lack of a broader vocabulary of games to like relate them to at the time, or would you still hold that there's a meaningful relation there? You tell him, Brayflox. Yes, yeah. Gabi take their cheese copyrights seriously. In Japanese media, it seems you either hate or love goblins. There's no in between, is there? I mean, to be fair, that's true in Western media too. I mean, they're depicted either as monsters or I don't think that's just a Japan thing. I think that's typically fake creatures are usually that kind of way. I think also because broadly in media, it's just simpler. Cheese or death. Yeah. Of course, now I know where Pokemon gameplay's heritage comes from. Okay, yeah. So Elias, you got me. I already got to that. I have a few ideas how Gabi bombs can be used to make Gabi cheese or in cooking in general. I mean, I don't know that we know a specific indication that they're used in it, but they totally could be. I mean, we don't even know what the milk that's used for it necessarily for Gabi cheese is. Like, that's a running, like, gag that it's something horrifying that you don't want to know. Is Y'shtola doing the sending?
I mean, actually, if you think about it, there's not a whole lot with elemental energies in... I mean, that's not entirely true with 10, because you have, like, the temples themselves, but, like, you know, other than the temples and, like, the Aeons themselves, and even when you think about the Aeons, you've got a lightning, wind, ice, fire, I mean, darkness. I mean, like, the thing is, like, the Magus Sisters, Bahamut, Yojimbo, and Anima are all, like, ill-defined in terms of what you would consider them elementally, right? And other than those guys, you just have, what? Valfor, Ifrit, Shiva, or, well, Ixion, Shiva. That's it, right? I'm not missing any. It always depends on how goblins are depicted. I love 14 goblins. Harry Potter's goblins are far more problematic. Yeah. If goblins are approaching any kind of archetype related to how the Jewish people have been depicted throughout history, it's problematic. Try to avoid.
Uplanders are back. Did Uplanders find friends of Slowfolks? Time has not cured recklessness of Brayflax. Without doubt from Uplanders, Brayflax would now be dead, Gobby. Slowfolks owes Uplanders debt of gratitude. Slowfolks and Brayflax are joined by universal, unseverable Gobby bond. If Slowfolks had known that Uplanders are friends of Brayflax, Slowfolks would have welcomed Uplanders to Gobbyflock at first meeting.
It's a good point. That's a really good point, Artemis.
Uplanders have upheld bargain most highly. As promised, Slowfolks makes Uplander an honored citizen of Idleshire, free to cross river at will. Though Uplanders must leave for now, Slowfolks hopes that Uplanders will pay many visits and help build up great new nation.
Seeing Charlian thrive once more, to become a home to people of all races and creeds.
Slowfolks has already ordered Gobwatch to let Uplanders through. Safe travels.
I feel like blow for blow, Heavensward, yeah, well, Elfino, Elio, shall we then? I feel like, blow to blow, technically, Heavensward is not longer than A Realm Reborn. I mean, it is longer. It is shorter than A Realm Reborn. But boy, does, not even just talking about quality, not like which is better or anything, but like, I think because of how it's paced and structured, it's like, it does go by fast. That is what I will say, like, I already feel like we should be at, like, we should be at, like, what should we put at? Like, the 2/3 mark, maybe, or, like, the 3/4 mark, but we're actually at, like, the 80% mark. So we're always, you know, you're feeling ahead of where you're at. And I definitely think that the slowest part was the first 2 maps. And so I think that's the same problem. I think it's the same problem that people argue for Stormblood, too. But I think it's definitely true of Heavensward as well.
Clicklocks up first warm and hearty welcome to Uplander. Join Gobbyflock in grand experiment.
Guys, I'm gonna need you to be on standby with some gobby booms, and you'll see why in one moment. Oh, Artemis, we've had a bunch of talks about Sin. I definitely would love to talk more about it.
By order of Chief Slowfolks, Uplanders can come and go at will. One moment for clearing away barricade.
Finally, we can continue our journey.
Move, Uplander, move! Gobble booms!
Beautiful. Barring any misadventures, we shall soon arrive at the cave where Matoya resides. Unless you have unfinished business in Idleshire, let us strike out at once. I am ready whenever you are. Let us go and meet the legendary Matoya. I want to point out, that was not me preparing. I did this when I screamed Gobby Booms. Like, that was unbidden from my mind. That was not at all like of course I'm going to mimic my own emote. That literally was just like was the emotion that came out. Ahead lies the answering quarter, where the scholars of Charlian gather to hone their knowledge. Even from the distance, 'tis plain that much of it has been given back to the wilderness.
The cave in which Matoya resides is situated on the southern edge of the hinterlands. In choosing this spot, my master desired privacy above all else. As such, the cave is extremely well hidden. You'll not find it unless you know how to look for it. We shall follow the road south until we reach a bridge. Rather than cross it, however, we shall ford the stream it spans, thence head straight until we arrive at the base of a bluff.
Yes, the Scions ditched me in my hour of need. No water Aeon in the water is Final Fantasy, which baffled me. Yep. Yuna can walk on water while doing the sending. What does that imply? I don't think it essentially implies anything. So one of the things you have to remember at the time too, right, is that the water in Spira is all kinds of weird for a variety of reasons. Not only could those be magics, those could be a byproduct of Pyrefly, could be a byproduct of specifically the sending as a rite. Also, it seems like you can fight on top of the water when you're in Macalania. So like, you know, 14 plays fast and loose with its water rules. I mean, like Blitzball, at least, you know, or like just breathing underwater damn near perpetually. The worst type of goblins are the ones from the Goblin Slayer. I don't watch Goblin Slayer, so I can't speak to it really. Water Aeon like Leviathan or Bismarck, or does Sin itself not count? Sin doesn't count to me. One, because Sin itself is not an Aeon of water. It is an Aeon that resides within water at times, but you could just as easily argue it is one of air. And also, like, the nature of it with you, Yevon, is it's more of it is a Aeon of Parasite more than anything. Or an Aeon of Pyrefly. Well, they're all Aeon. Aeons are all made of Pyreflies, so. Wasn't Sin considered the water Aeon? I wouldn't consider it a water Aeon, personally. Because, again, Sin itself isn't necessarily an Aeon. Sin is just an accruement of Pyreflies around the final Aeon, you know? Willow, thanks for the Archon. So, like, to my mind, I don't think Sin itself isn't even an Aeon, right? Like, the final Aeon is. Yevon might even arguably be, though I think it's more of an entity itself. But Sin is just armor. Sin is arguably more akin to Vegnagun than anything. This is why I think goblins can find a way to you a new job through explosives and maybe cheese. I mean, that would be a really funny April Fool's job. Oh, speaking of, I need to start working on my April Fool's video. Oh, mods, I need to talk to you about what my April Fool's video is that I've been planning for a year. I'm very excited to do it, and maybe you guys might be able to or want to help me. I'll just say it's got music in it. Ren, good to see you, glad to have you. Yes, exactly, it flies. It flies, it also, like, you know, oops, I lapsed. Yeah, no worries. Oh, an Aeon of Parasite, I like that. Yeah. That sounds intriguing. Yes. Okay. I think you guys will like it. Let's just say it is of similar nature to last year's April Fools, but has to do with something Koji Fox once joked about. Would you consider Zodiark like Sin in some fashion? In that it is armor to an extent. Yes. I'm gonna be careful to talk around it. In that it needs a heart. Sure. I think there's parallels. I think there's definitely parallels. I don't think it's quite the same because yeah, it's not quite the same, but there's definitely parallels. It is akin to like the armor of what Sin is made of, but there isn't a Yevon aspect to it, and the heart of it is willing, you know. I know it's been a rough couple days, but you know it's September, right? Yes, but also, you've seen what I like to put on my plate, so I definitely want to get started working on it now. But you're not wrong, Deathis. Zodiark did remind me a bit of the last area of Gagazet, but really only superficially. Yeah, I definitely think I definitely think there are elements of 10 that exist throughout 14 in very loose fashion. I think there's a lot of things that if you like look to them, they're actually there. 10 has a lot less of like anima showing up, right? I don't think that tends to happen quite as much. But there's definitely a lot of things that are spiritually in there. I definitely know that I've done my pitches on what the like a version of Sin I would want is. Which is just don't make it a giant monster, right? The idea is Sin's relationship with Spira is what's interesting, not necessarily Sin literally itself. I don't necessarily need a monster that is Sin, but I would definitely love a reflection that has a relationship onto what Spira and Sin deal with, because that's interesting. This is the entrance. You seem unconvinced, Elio. Well, that will only add to the surprise.
A word of warning before we proceed. Stubborn geniuses make poor hosts, and time will have done naught to improve my master's temperament. Doubt not, but there will be sentinels and traps both to deter unwanted guests, but will not be deterred. Will we? Go on and touch the wall yonder. You will have your weapon near at hand.
We're doing good. But yeah, I definitely think if you look at Mare, the last area of God Gazette. Yeah, I think there's definitely elements of Mare and God Gazette too. And I think there's interesting parallels between Xenos and Seymour. For Ancients, the dream has certainly ended and it was indeed fleeting. Yeah. Although, yeah, that's an interesting, yeah. In a way, it's kind of like the Faith, like, yeah, I think, there's definitely parallels to also the war between Bavel and Zenerkind, and not necessarily the war itself, but you think about the relationship between those peoples in the final day, and you also think about the people, the Ancients, as that slumber, and I can't talk about these specifics, but let's just say the dreams, the dreaming entities of some kind actually do play a relevant relationship to certain things in 14.
Those sentinels may suffice to discourage the average trespasser, but not the warrior of light. That way should now be clear. Come, let us go see my master.
God, don't make me think more about Final Fantasy 10 and 14. It makes me wishful. I want so much more. I want more. I'll be happy if we don't get it. I'll be perfectly fine if we don't get it. I just want when it's added to be done right. You know, and they use the version of Yojimbo in 14 is straight up the 10 version, basically. There's a lot of 10 already in there. It's just not as
it's
superficial.
To enter without knocking.
Oh, hey, it's Ray Ray.
No manners at all.
I feel like this is what would happen if you combined Ray Ray and Tethys into one
Though
person.
we neglected to knock, we did create something.
Someone tell
of a
me I'm wrong.
commotion. I had hoped that would suffice.
Heavy-handed as ever, I see. And still not a hint of grace. Some things never change.
To give credit where credit is due, I learned from the best. It has been too long, Master Matoya.
Indeed it has. Oh, it's good to see you again, my girl. And with your
Tethys.
fiery spirit unquenched. But look at you, all grown up and womanly.
Tethys, I'd argue that might prove my point.
The one there in the fancy duds. That's Louis Soir's granddaughter, I take it?
Oh, it's such a great running gag.
Grandson, begging your pardons. You knew my grandfather, my lady.
Knew him? Ha! We were constantly at each other's throats. Like rabid dogs we were. Oh, he was a stubborn bugger, was your grandfather. Never a dull moment when he was around, though, I'll give him that. As for you,
Okay.
boy, I've known you since you were a rosy-cheeked babe at the teat.
Short story with Monteshane, Matoya, and Louis Soir when, because holy shit, do I want that so bad. Please, please give that to us someday.
And my sister too, I gather. May I say what an honor it is to meet you again, my lady?
Spare me the hollow pleasantries, boy. I'll wager my remaining good teeth you didn't come to a forgotten corner of Eorzean to flirt with a wrinkly old woman. Now out with it. What is it you need of me?
I forgot, Tethys. Thanks for reminding me. I'd be
Azizar. I never thought I'd hear that name again.
You are familiar with it.
As familiar as one can get from poring over musty old tomes. The Alagons set the Isle afloat not long before the sun set on their empire. Old Louis Soir and I often talked about it. The place is home to a research facility dedicated to finding ways of mastering mighty beings, such as primals and dragons. And find ways it did too, frightening ones. Such secrets as lie buried on Azizla aren't fit to see the light of day. And now you tell me a band of dragon-baiting primal botherers are trying to dig them up?
Indeed. And to make matters worse, the Ascians have a hand in their plot. They must be stopped, no matter the cost.
I see. Very well.
You will help us then? Truly? I had not anticipated such an impassioned response. Could it be that the presence of young blood has stirred your own?
Ah, some things never change. One day that pertness is going to cost you your tail, my girl. Don't say I didn't warn you.
I think she's just old. Tethys, did I miss it? I swear I was looking. Did I just like happen to miss it, or was it a different line? Let me catch up on you guys real quick. Matoya! Xenos has gravity-defying hair. I know clips through his collar, but not sure if that counts. Well, I mean more like thematically about suns and nihilism and seeking meaning and just a lot of stuff like that. Renmore McDonald's sad meal. Very few people can handle the sass of a wizened elder and their students. Yeah. I'd be more surprised if they didn't add Guado and Mericidia. I'd be surprised if they did. No, now that said, if they added Mericidia, it makes sense to right, because like then there's reasons you didn't see them on the first at all or what have you. You know, if they only live in Mericidia. I don't know. I'd be like, I wouldn't say be surprised if they don't have them, especially because we don't know. Like for instance, like the Mount Gagazet parallel, if we ever saw it, could just as easily be on Airslaint as Mericidia. So it could be cool. I'm not against it. I just don't know that I would be banking on it, AC. Nope, it's coming up in the quest right before the dungeon. Okay. 2 sassy chicks, gotta love it. To be honest, I feel a little complimented to be compared to Matoya. I aspire to be her when I mold. I mean, honestly, Ray, without ever you telling me that, I could feel that. Aurora, good to see you, glad to have you. Sorry I'm late. Nah, always good. Doing testing for possible learning disabilities, and the test I took today was mentally draining. I passed out once I got home. Hope everyone is well. Yeah, definitely well. I hope your test results are beneficial to you.
'Twas some 50 years ago, shortly after Garlemald had brought all of Ilsabard under its rule. Faced with the threat of invasion, the people of Sharlayan scrambled about for a means to resist the Empire. For my part, I was tasked with developing an etheric converger.
Ah, yes, a device
Thanks,
which
Ray.
stores in ether and concentrates it to produce a destructive force.
But as my research neared its end, it was denounced by the Forum, who claimed that my device was more likely to destroy us than our enemies. After that, they and I had a little falling out, and I decided to seal away all the fruits of my research, lest the dunder-headed ingrates reap any benefit. Ha! Petty, I know, but gods, it was satisfying.
Oh, Matoya.
Do mine ears deceive? 'Twas you, was it not, who was so fond of saying that all knowledge exists to advance mankind, that how it is used depends on us.
I don't remember. Perhaps. All right, yes. It was a pet phrase of mine. And that should give you a notion of how sick and tired I was of those spineless wretches of the Forum. All talk and no trousers, that lot. That's why I decided to remain behind, rather than join the Exodus.
You may have had your disagreements with my grandfather, but upon that point, your minds were as one.
With respect, Master, the fruits of your research should not be left to spoil. Will you share with us the secrets of the etheric converger?
Joels are like...
Aye, I will. All the information you need is contained in a tome I wrote on the subject, but you'll have to fetch it from the forbidden section of the Great Library.
You were not exaggerating when you said that you had sealed it away. Though the city is abandoned, the library's guardians are all but certain to remain. We must needs cut a path through them. Come, let us away.
Not so fast, you lot. Stola and the boy are staying with me.
Okay, guys, we should go to the forum and I'll make a giant post on this, see if we can get it fixed.
I need help to make new sentinels to replace the old ones you walloped. They'll be board and lodging, don't you worry. But know that you'll have to work for them. Hard. I'll have no sluggards in my house.
Yep, because I saw that. It's just Stola instead of you all instead of Stola and the boy. Okay, let's get some on you guys. The psychiatrist can tell I'm a gamer with my reaction times being the highest he's seen in 20 years of testing. Yep, that's usually how it goes. I used licorice as a straw for my Dr. Pepper today. It's a choice. I honestly, to be fair, when I was younger, I definitely had more of sweet tooth like that, but I'm good with the regular straw these days. Imagine how Matoya and Louis Suave looked 50 years ago. They were like, let's not be wrong, right? Let's not lie. Matoya was fucking hot 50 years ago. There's no question that she is that like classical archetype of like the ancient wizened person that you see a photograph and you're like, that was Matoya? Actually, Ray, we should give you a task of creating like Matoya, 50 years ago Matoya as an alt. I'm not well, I'm Blinkster and or keep running with that, Joe. Is the game quiet or just me? Artemis, no, it's quite possible. I had to reset all of the sounds. So let me guys know if you guys think it's too quiet. Let me know so I can adjust it. I just adjusted it so it's a little louder now, but if you want it even louder, let me know. Brandon, that sounds amazing. I'm not flattered. My jowls are much more attractive than Matoya's. Yeah. Jowls are the part of your face that Elio has little upturned beard on. Yeah. It's like in this area, basically. Board and lodging, how long are they going to be there? We don't need to fix it. It's part of the duty support. They fixed the dialogue before they added duty support to Google Library, most likely. No, because I remember hearing, wasn't that broken? That's been broken before. I thought that was broken even before duty support. I thought that had been that way for a long, long time. Well, and also if they have the audio that way, typically they want them to sync regardless. I would love to see that. And you wonder why Astinia mistakes you for being the rugged one, Ali say. 20-year-old Matoya, don't give me fanfic writer ideas. If no one's gonna make the dad jokes, I will. I do have the hat. Ray, I think you have your task. Can I see images by the end of the stream for that? Because that would be fucking amazing. Louis Suave had more hair back then. Yeah, maybe. I was working for the government 3 years before. Delph, I believe there was a short picture of the two of them in young in Heavensward. Is there? I don't remember that, but if anyone knows where that is, I'd love to see it. Oh, the great Goobel Guardian should pose any difficulty for a hero like you. You hardly noticed Stola's absence, and the girl, boy, whatever, would only get in your way. But if it turns out you are up to the task, well then, I know you can be trusted with something as dangerous as an etheric ram. Now the library's entrance is locked tight. I'll loan you one of my servants to open it. The broom yonder. Well, what are you waiting for? Introduce yourself, boy. That's Prago. Greetings, good sir. I am Broomsy, my lady's servant of some 50 years. May I say what an honor it is to sweep you up off your feet. Serve you. I am given to understand you wish to enter the Great Goobel Library. To find it, pray head east upon the leaving of the cave. The building will come into view shortly after you reach the collapsed bridge. I shall go on ahead and wait you at the entrance. When your preparations are in order, pray come and meet me there. It will be my pleasure to unlock the door for you. How I speak, you ask, without a mouth? Don't question it. Greetings and welcome to my mistress' abode, Ribbit. How may I serve you, Ribbit? I am Toro Rago, a humble servant of Mistress Matoya, Ribbit. In Charlian, it is a commonplace to make servants of animals and objects, by imbuing them with intelligence. By my mistress's grace, I was raised from a lowly toad to become a Parago, capable of speech and reasoning. But be warned, Ribbit, for not all Paragos you meet will be as civilized and refined as I. The masterless creatures outside the cave, for instance, will attack passers-by unprovoked, left behind during the Exodus. They have taken a leave of their powers of discernment. In addition to we Paragos, my mistress also has brooms for her servants. Together we aid her in many and more ways, from her research to her daily needs. Indeed, there is no end to the tasks that want for doing, Ribbit. I just got through Heavenward. I don't recall any pictures of young Matoya. Yeah, Delph, if you remember where that is, I'd love to know. Also, I just got to the part where Ali says Gosetsu's voice could fell Gigas, and I got her pronunciation wrong, so she says Gigas. Gigas, Gigas, both are fine. Look, there are some people out there. I mean, there's even some people disagree with me within this community. I am very much, I think we need to become way more relaxed on being prescriptivist about pronunciation, because one, those things have shifted throughout history. That's like kind of inevitable. And two, like, I've seen people try to correct me when like, no, like both pronunciations are like dictionarily acceptable. So either's fine. I make sure to have at least one weird meal a week just so I can tell you about it on stream. Okay. This week I ate California roll sushi with crushed M&Ms and pepper. Bryn, you have to understand, at a certain point, I just don't believe you. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not calling you a liar. I'm just incapable of believing that's actually a meal someone would want to digest, regardless of their sweet tooth or otherwise. And also, more appropriately, to what you just described, I only have one reaction, which is... Oh God, why, man? Why? Oh. Well, I don't know why, but we got kicked out. That was very weird. Des, good to see you. Glad to have you. I've had mac and cheese pizza before with pepperoni and sausage. Actually, that's pretty common here, Blinkster. Like, macaroni and cheese pizza is really common where I live. And then also on top of that, like, adding another thing. I wouldn't want anything else, but that's not crazy to me. At least not crazy to me. It's been happening on and off all day. Oh, so it's everyone? I wonder if it's something to do with, like, some of the preliminary setup for the 6.1 maintenance or something. I mean, I'm not one to yuck someone else's yum, but pass. I hear you, Jellybean. Look, I am very readily accepting of people doing whatever they want to do. It's not hard for me to not judge on that metric. But if you come to me, start telling me about it, I can only have my reaction for my consumption of it. Look, if you find it delicious, power to you. I will fight for your right to be able to consume that cuisine. However, if you mention it to me, I will likely throw up in my mouth. Where the hell do you live then? I got called Weird Eater in my family. I live in the Midwest. Currently in Minnesota. Oh, posting screenshots in our Discord. Ooh, okay, let's check that out. Sweet, thanks, Tethys. And thanks, Del, for bringing it up. Well, that's moderation discussion. I'll wait for Tethys to pull up. Actually, while Tethys does that, I just want to say real quick. Hey, to everyone who does emote reactions in the Discord, know that I appreciate you for doing that. Also, two things. Thanks for welcoming everyone in the Discord. Also, we have a Discord. If you're not part of it, come join our Discord. It's a great time. We socialize, and everybody's it's a good old time. We talk about lore and 14 and all sorts of fun stuff. But thank you for welcoming everyone every time. I love that that's like a thing that we do. Also, when you guys emote react, not just to my posts, but other people's posts, I think we can all say that we know that when like we message or post something, it's nice when people are like, one, converse with us, or like also show that like other people care or are reading our things. So I definitely just want to say thank you for that. And to the announcements, because it lets me know that like people are interested in the stuff we're putting out, which is just useful. It's posted. Sweet. Oh, fuck you, Tethys! I got trolled hard there, I'm not gonna lie. I'm salty. I need a moment. Motherfucker. That was really good. Well done to you. Go fuck yourself, but well done to you. Okay. To the dungeon. Demins, I read your thing just a little too late. You stand before the Great Goobel Library, one of Hydaelyn's foremost repositories of knowledge. Alas, it has fallen into disuse since the Exodus. Some summers since in all those years, its halls have welcomed not the coming of a single soul. Its floor has not loved the loving a brush of broom. Malign apology, sir. Pray no mind of the dreams of a humble broom. You are doubtless eager to venture within and retire to my lady's home. I shall unlock the door at once. When you have what you seek, pray, return. Guys, say it with me. Pray, return. To the cave and report to my lady. I know someone did a nod counter for A Realm Reborn. I want someone now to do a pray return counter for the whole goddamn game. Yes, the Midwest, where Cool Whip is a salad ingredient. Now, see, that shit's just gross. Now, that's true, but gross. Okay, Rin. Okay, you be a troll then. Oh, dear Matoya was in the old Captain and the Game Master cartoon. She looks like the Theodore, the Wicked Witch of the West. She's green and bony with pointy chin and big nose. I totally fell for it. Yeah, I totally did. Well, that's because I trust Tethys, and that was my first mistake. Speaking of emotes, we need a laughing emote. Yes, I need to get a laughing emote. Actually, does anyone have any artists that they like? Because currently my artist is just not taking commissions. And I can try once more with her. But if anyone has an artist friend who does emotes, even like relatively similar in our current style. But yeah, I do want to do a laugh emote, and I want a gay bulge emote. Yeah. Hey, Elio, never gonna give you up. Never gonna let you down. Never gonna run around and hurt you. As long as you never say goodbye. As long as you never tell a lie. What? Why can't I? Oh, son of it. Well, okay. Hey, guys, who wants to come to the Great Goobel Library with me? I forgot. The update's, it's not out yet. So, if you want to come to the Great Goobel Library, oh, okay. Well, one of you was just fucking ready. I actually don't know whose ult this is off the top of my head. Is it Elias's? I don't know who this is. Also, Amber, good to see you, glad to have you. But we are on Crystal Curl. I need a tank and a healer. It's me, your boy, back at it again. That's so descriptive. It could be so many people. Ah, yes, my boy. My boy. No, it's not mine. And Warrior of Darkness. World of Darkness, I wish it could. No worries, Aurora. It's me, your boy, Blinkster. Blinkster, I want you to know, I have at least 2 other friends in my life who just say, it's me, your boy, whenever I say, who is this? So, like, I cannot tell you how undescriptive it is for someone to say, it's me, your boy. But yeah, do we have a tank and a healer on their way? If not, I'm going to cry. You need a Laughing Titus and Yuna emote. I guess Elio doesn't have a romantic interest, so that's, yeah, that's... Titus wouldn't work. Okay, I mean, we could also take a DPS because Blinkster's willing to... At work, I would join. No worries. Coming as tank. Okay, Des has got tank, so you can play whatever you want, Bling. I'm just gonna hang here. Wish I could. Moving sucks. 0 out of 10, do not recommend. Jubilant, I appreciate that you've, like, been on the ball and everything as much as you have been while dealing with all the things you have. So, no worries there. But yeah, if anyone has any artist friends who potentially do commission, let me know. Oh, Dest is the here. Okay, I need a healer. I need a healer! I'm going to something and change the lyrics again. Great Goobel Library has fascinating books with topics to discuss. Yes, it does. It has some really fun ones. I don't know if it's Great Goobel Library regular or hard that has the, well, okay, Blinkster's got that too. So we just go, can we get one more body, I beseech you? Because we're going to want to do, want to read the books.
Oh, Timber, let me read the book. Let me read the book.
No, you're too stupid.
Well, in that case, I'm too stupid for the book. Too stupid.
No one's gonna know what the fuck I'm talking about. If you don't, look up Final Fantasy Cactar and Tomberry Guild Quest. Someday we should watch that together. Because that is... I don't want to say that's where my love of Final Fantasy started, but a little bit. The naming convention changed the number system. Yeah, That's one of the funnest things, AC, to talk about with that, definitely. The system of magics and how it was the Amdapori Council that changed it. Okay, Teth is on their way. Or maybe Willow logged in, so I don't know. Maybe Willow's on their way. We'll see. It's me, your boy, back at it again with the spooky slice. Oh, we got someone riding in. Oh, it's Tethys. Okay. We got a group. Oh, whoops. If not, I'm gonna do fuckery. Okay, Willow, A, I think we're good. 2, I'm not sure what you mean by fuckery other than for my mind to go places, so I'm gonna assume you mean something else. Either way, to the library! We should see if we can get Amano to do the design for the stream. It might cost us more than the PS5, but we would I'm pretty sure it might cost us more than all the money we've raised for this channel so far to get Amano to do any work. I'm pretty sure that man would work for maybe tens, like thousands upon thousands of dollars. I'm being an emotional support gobby if anyone needs a dote in Idleshire. Playing on bed rest sucks. Oh, Jellybean, I was gonna ask if you were feeling any better. But yeah, guys, if you need an emotional support gobby, go walk over to Idleshire to get a pat from the gobby. Zeta Flare with Donald noises. Zeta Flare! I can't do a Donald. I don't know what the fuck that was. I cannot do no Donald Duck. Gosh, I could do Goofy. Zeta Flare. Amano's art is it paint or watercolor? He's done a lot of different mediums. So, he's done watercolor. He's done it all, basically. Oh, I'm not the tank. Let the tank do their job. You can feel free to pull on. Oh, we have the door in the way. So it depends on which picture you're talking about, because he's done sketch, watercolor, paint, like, everything. Yeah, don't worry about it. You know, don't have to stress aggro. I'll be fine, I'm sure. Oh, hey, actually, on Garlean Hierarchy, they have this in EE1 too. You guys can feel free to go ahead if you want while I read this. The rise of the Garlean Empire in the year 1522 of the Sixth Astral Era led to significant changes in the structure of Garlean society. This is most evident in the adoption of titles, which serve to indicate an individual's place within the social hierarchy. The following information was compiled with the aid of informants within the Empire, and is yet to be verified. Stop trying to floor tank! Never! Royalty, Zos, the Emperor. Ye, member of the royal family in the line of succession. So, Xenos Ye Galvis, Varys Zos Galvis, or, Solus Zos Galvis. Member of the Weir, member of the royal family with no claim to the throne. Military, Van Legatus. Toll, Tribunal Lactivius. Sas, Tribunus Angelictavius, or Prefectus Castorium. That's why you see Sas for, like, Junus, and then you see, Nero Tolscavia, because he's Tribunus. Rem, Primus Pilus or Pilus, Prior. Quo, Primep Ordinus, or Centurion. Pure, Optio, Tesserus or Decurion. Own, Duplicaris or Legionarius. Specialist, Non, so Garland, Sid Non-Garland. Chief Engineer, Mal, Primus Medicus or Senior Magitech, which I think is Aulus. Is it Aulus Mal or is Aulus Lux? I think he might be Lux. Chief Medicus or Magitech Technician. Cure, Senior Medicus or Senior Technician. Gen, Medicus or Technician. On the way. You can't stop the floor tank! Strong floor tank energy! This is the first dungeon I was super enamored with. Still up there as my fave. Really? Google. Oh no. Where is everybody? Why is everybody waiting? I'm not gonna lie. Seeing the 3 other people in the party just like sitting there like that is kind of eerie. Okay, well in the meantime, this is the, if you can practice, you can copy an art style close enough to be stylized in the artist's fashion, like if you wanted art done in a style from 1 to 4. Yeah, but you'd have to have someone who's practiced that enough, who's good enough to be at that level. Oh. What just happened? What is even going on? Did everybody else see that? Public officials. Leo, Dictator Priestess Sentitus. Het, Council Praetor Tribunus. Wow, okay. For those of you who want to know more, you can, I'll read it from EU1 later. This hierarchy extends to general populace as well, though it is far less complex. The majority of citizens bear the boss title, and there is a similar group which appears to be comprised of respected artisans who adopted the Sen title. The On title is bestowed upon the people of annexed territories, indicates that they lack even the most basic rights afforded to citizens. However, many Garleans view this as an opportunity rather than a condemnation, as citizenship may be granted those who have demonstrated exceptional skills, as well as those who have contributed 20 or more years of military service. I have eaten something. Thanks to Jalali, I have drank in my pixelberry juice. But that's the thing is, like, I didn't get a lag spike for talking to you guys or anything. So it must have been on the server end, but even then, that's weird. I follow him on Facebook, and it's hilarious watching Amano and Nomura trolling each other all the time. Yeah. Well, also, like, dude, Nomura, if I could have someone who had, like, could do Nomura's art style, Nomura's art style is probably one of my favorite art styles in the world. Like, I fucking adore Nomura's art style passionately. I'd do anything to get an artist that I could regularly get. So. For on the cheap, though. Damn, good to see you. Glad to have you. What ranks do you think the Empire would give the Warrior of Light theoretically in their army? I don't think they would. Yeah, prisoner. I don't think they would give them a rank in their army. I mean, if you're saying if the Warrior was like born Garlean, what would their rank be? I don't think the Warrior of Light as a role works particularly well. I don't have a good answer for that. I think it might be time for new armor. Lag spike looks like lag spike. Yeah, library should just have cafe attached to it. The theme is like a cafe music to relax to. AC, I do agree. It definitely feels like a cafe music. Jolly, I got your gift earlier. Thank you for the juice and the Shiba. I've been using the Shiba most of the stream. Let's see. Do I have any armor that's better than what I have now? Not really, but it's better than nothing. Oh, actually, maybe this is armor I can use. Nope. And a hey to everyone you too. Yeah, it was really weird lag spike, it looked like it, yeah. Just so you know, maintenance is happening tonight. Yeah, yep, I'm aware. I mean, like, inducted into their army, like with Rattata. But that's right, but what I'm saying is that, like, to be the Warrior of Light, you wouldn't necessarily have ended up in that context, so it really, to me, like, depends on what you mean. Like, you're not gonna be the Warrior of Light and be working for the Garlean military, because, like, you're not gonna be awakened by Hydaelyn. Right? Or you're not gonna, so like, if you're saying if they took them as they are now, it's still weird because like they're not gonna put them in a place of trust, right? But also I don't think they'd take them and put them in their military because they're like, we don't trust you're actually gonna do your job. We don't trust that you're gonna fight for us. So like I don't think like I feel like the fundamental question of whether or not like where they would be placed in is like there's too many things that preclude that from happening to like make a meaningful guess. You know? Like that's more where I'm getting at. I may go down, but I'm taking as much of you sons of bitches with me as I can. So what was that about, floor tank? I ain't going down. Even with aggro, I don't go down. Actually, I'm gonna grab these coffers because I actually could potentially use the armor if there's anything of use. Nope. Nope. Okay. Chapter 1. The 6 narratives in myriad creation. The nativities in myriad creation. So these are the 6 elements. The spark of lightning ignites when strikes, and thus fire is born. The heat of fire renders to ash all that it touches, and thus earth is born. The density of earth shuns sun and harbors cold, and thus ice is born. The armor of ice melts away, and thus water is born. The moistness of water mists and rises, and thus wind is born. The gusts and sighs of wind gather the clouds, and thus lightning is born. Chapter 2. The Theory Conquests. Boundless and unwavering. Earth grounds lightning. Water erodes earth. Lightning boils water. Fire is extinguished by wind. Ice is melted by fire, and wind is obstructed by ice. I'm having serious lag. Okay, yeah, no worries. We'll make it work. We'll just get through this, and then... Well, honestly, we weren't planning on going far past Google. Maybe we'll just do some gobby quests today. Maybe a sauce. Well, again, AC, I think like the thing is that sauce isn't gonna like. You have to provide an argument for why they would bother putting them in militia to have the warrior of light, like the things that define the warrior of light as being powerful and being who they are, kind of preclude them from being in the army. So like that's my point. Though there's some debate as to whether or not Merlwyb Bluefisfin in the League of wait, what? This should be 20 years ago, so this should be fine. If I'm not mistaken, the event this is referring to is 20 years ago, so, and this was locked off 15 years ago, so this should be fine. But give me a second. Yeah, 20 years ago. So this tome could have been up to 5 years old by the time it was locked away. There's some debate as to whether or not the Merlwyb Bluefisfin and her League of Lost Bastards were the first Eorzeans to discover the Western continent. There's no denying that the navigational charts were instrumental in establishing the major trade routes of today. Moreover, the accounts from their expeditions are widely regarded as both informative and entertaining. Of particular note is their first encounter with Mammal Jah, as well as other indigenous peoples and creatures which seemed curiously intent on their demise. These travel journals have since inspired legions of explorers and treasure hunters to retrace the League's journey, yet in spite of their numbers, the existence of a bleedin' city of gold remains unconfirmed. I love you guys. Doesn't wind usually fuel fire, or did I mishear that it puts out fire? We can go back and look at it. You can also find these tomes online. The thing I would say is that a sufficiently strong enough wind puts out a fire, right? Also, a lot of their elemental charting for that just doesn't make sense to me in any way, so. The word that would probably have inducted as is at Heavenward Stormblood time end up as something special outside the Nork command structure. You know what? Tam, I actually like that pitch too. I feel like nothing really becomes a strength level, and they don't want to put them necessarily in a command structure place, but they do want to. Okay, yeah, we're gonna get lag spikes. I remember looking at a reference I came across in Nomura during an art piece for Heavensward. It was the 3rd anniversary artwork I put in the Discord. Oh, thanks, AC. I'll check that out while I wait for while I wait for this spike to end. Okay, it's back. Okay, guys, let me know when you see this and when I'm back. There may be a slight delay. I'm not sure what's up. Like, nowhere in my house had any data and issues. Like, I get why 14 DC'd, but look who's floor tank now. How instead about, let me know when you guys can see this, so I'll know when to start talking again. Yeah, I'm not sure what's up. Kathra, good to see you. Glad to have you. Is stream back? Okay. Cool. Yeah, just had a hiccup, but it seems okay now. Okay, cool. Well, I'm gonna go ahead. There's gonna be maybe a little bit of delay. We'll see how it goes up. Let me catch up on all you guys. Catherine, good to see you. Glad to have you. Stream had a hiccup also. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. Everywhere in my house was fine internet-wise. Completely. The only thing that are having hiccup is 14, and then all of a sudden it affected OBS. I don't know what was up with that. My internet is generally being pretty slow today, but 14 itself has been stable. I haven't had any DCs. Yeah, it's wild. Let me get back to AC's point really quick, and then we'll continue on. I just want to give it a second to stabilize. How about instead of you being in a Garlean army, they just scope us for combat data? Maybe as a workaround, would they be interested in our combat data for use in their experiments? Yeah, AC, I would think so. I think if you look at the weapon, if you looked at the weapon design, I think if that had been allowed to continue, you would have seen a weapon with Oversoul with the Warrior of Light's data. I totally think that could have been a thing. Yeah, I think that would have been, I think if Garlean Empire continued, you could have totally seen that be a better project. Elio, check hashtag glamour. Okay. Hot. Okay, let's show this to everyone. Actually, I'm curious. Well, it might block it out. No, okay. This is Ray Ray's attempt at young Matoya, and I think she nailed it. Fire. Actually, I should probably move this back over. Cathro, welcome back to Archon. Okay, guys, let's do it. Jubilant, I'm going to change that to 15 seconds for you. I promise. Yeah, I'm going to go with either Tam's idea of a special designation, the same way that we also see, like, Viator, it becomes a thing, even though it's not listed. Or we see, oh, not again. No, I'm not seeing it on my... What is going on today? Well, I'm glad it's going to be patch night so that we can fix that. Anybody else see his name and just thinking Bibliosteca? way behind me. Okay, cool. Yeah, there's just gonna be just a big.
Oh, it burns. Ah, oil everywhere. You should be dealing across mortals.
Head down, bums up! Well, actually, with this kind of entity, I'm pretty sure it is Dominus' wavelength. He likes to fuck. Just a thought. Darn ads made me lag behind a bit. Would combine the Warrior of Light theme with the Weapon of Theme in a remix sound good? Yeah, I think that's a perfectly. I think that'd be a perfectly valid way to. I think that idea would totally work. No, Jude Catherine, never be sorry you're late. Totally glad to just have you. None of y'all guys have to apologize for being late. Just glad when you can make it. We all got busy lives. I'm just thankful that you're here. I totally believe Matoya would have pink hair in her youth. Yeah, I think that totally fits. Ray, your image of her fucking fire. It crashed again? Yeah, I feel that lion monster slut. Okay, yeah, I think we're gonna. I mean, honestly, it's good that we were planning to call it after Google because, like, this is stream health seems fine for the most part. I don't know what's up. Here, give me 1 second. Can you guys see me still? Because I know I'm getting the 9006. Curse Google run. Seriously. Honestly, the getting through it is the hardest part. But we'll get there. Sarah, good to see you. Glad to have you. I'm back? Did I disappear for a second? Yeah, we're gonna get through this Google run and we'll have to call it there, sadly. I don't know what's I don't know what the fuck is up. Okay. Okay, seems YouTube across the board is having issues, so I'm gonna go ahead and do an outro for anyone who sees this or sees it in a VOD. There's probably been a lot of issues up in here. I guess we'll start with Google next time, but thanks very much for joining us. We'll be playing again tomorrow after the patch. I'm sure things will be doing a lot better, but yeah, this is just really, really weird. But yeah, so I'm gonna call it there. I'm gonna probably end the stream here. I'm gonna let this get through, see if any of you guys can see it. You guys, if anyone want to like say hi or something on Discord afterwards, I may like switch over to trying to play a little bit of something on Twitch or stuff with to hang out with you guys if you want. So